And then Imam al-Barbahari, rahimahullah, follows this with a point that we'll take as the last point, inshaAllah. Point number 150. وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الرَّجُلَ رَدِيءَ الطَّرِيقِ وَالْمَذْهَبِ فَاسِقًا فَاجِرًا صَاحِبَ مَعَاصٍ ظَالِمًا وَهُوَ مِنْ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ فَاصْحَبْهُ وَاجْلِسْ مَعَهُ فَإِنَّهُ لَيْسَ تَضُرُّكَ مَعْصِيَتُهُ. And if you see a man whose manner and behavior is despicable, such that he is wicked, sinful, a person of acts of disobedience, an oppressor, yet he is from the people of the Sunnah, then keep company with him and sit with him, since his sin will not harm you. Shaykh Fawzan said, Hafidhullah, his saying, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الرَّجُلَ رَدِيءَ الطَّرِيقِ وَالْمَذْهَبِ فَاسِقًا فَاجِرًا صَاحِبَ مَعَاصٍ ظَالِمَةٍ وَهُوَ مِنْ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ فَاصْحَبْهُ. So if you see a man who is despicable in his manner and behavior, such that he is wicked and sinful, a person who commits sins, a wrongdoer, an oppressor, but he is from the people of the Sunnah, then keep company with him. Shaykh Fawzan, Hafidhullah, said, your companionship with the sinner who is upon the Sunnah, in spite of what he has from sins and acts of disobedience, and you're sitting with him, will be better than sitting with an innovator, a mubtadi'. Because the sinner knows that he is a sinner, and it is to be hoped that he will repent. Contrary to the mubtadi', the innovator, for he believes that he is upon the truth and he will not repent. So the innovators do not repent mostly. For the most part, they do not repent, because they hold that they are upon the truth. Then the Shaykh said, so this does not mean that you should sit with the sinful people. Rather, its meaning is that sitting with the sinners from the people of the Sunnah is better than sitting with the innovator. Even if what is apparent from them is worship and rectitude. This is the intent of the author, rahimahullah. And there is no doubt that bid'ah, innovation, is worse and is more beloved to Satan than sin. Because the person of innovation will not repent from it, contrary to the person upon sin, for it is to be hoped that he will repent from it, because he believes that it is a sin, and he is ashamed of it, and he doesn't make it public, contrary to the innovator. He said, he's saying, وَهُوَ مِنْ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ فَاصْحَبْهُ. Whilst he is from the people of the Sunnah, then keep company with him. The Shaykh said, meaning, as long as he doesn't exit from Islam, rather he has kaba'ir, he has major sins which are less than shirk, but he does not have bid'ah, he does not have innovations, then your sitting with him will be less serious than sitting with the innovator. Even if the innovator manifests salah, rectitude, being upon good, and manifests tuqah, being dutiful to Allah. And as I have mentioned, this does not mean that the Shaykh is saying to you, sit with the people of sins. Rather, he is just comparing between the corruption which will result from sitting with the sinful person and the corruption which results from sitting with the innovator. So the corruption that results from sitting with the innovator is worse than sitting with the sinner, then how about the person of the Sunnah who adheres to it? If sitting with the person of the Sunnah who is a sinner is better than sitting with the innovator, then how about sitting with the person of the Sunnah who is rightly guided and adheres to it? This is the righteous sitting companion. He said, he's saying, فَإِنَّهُ لَيْسَ تَضُرُّكَ مَعْصِيَتُهُ, because his sin will not harm you. Shaykh said, because his sin will be upon him. So this is a case of comparison. However, the innovator will cause harm to you. His innovation will cause harm to you. As for the sinful person, then his sin will not harm you. And that's where Shaykh Fawzan ends explanation of that point. And just briefly, with regard to the explanation of Shaykh Ahmad al-Najmi, rahimahullah, then he said, just to quote the first half of what he said, the first or one part of what he said, he's saying, وَإِذَا ظَهَرَ لَكَ مِنْ إِنسَانٍ شَيْءٍ مِنَ الْبِدَعِ فَاحْذَرْهُ فإن الذي أخفى عنك أكثر مما أظهر. He said, with regard to the point that came just before, if there appears to you from a person something from innovations, then beware of him. For what he keeps hidden from you will be more than what he manifests. Shaykh Ahmad said, this contains a deterrent against sitting with the people of innovations, and that the people of innovations, Ahlul Bid'ah, they try to keep their innovation secret, and they try to conceal it, contrary to the people of the Sunnah. So the Ahlul Sunnah, the people of the Sunnah, they keep well away from secrecy in the affairs of the religion, and they hold that is the way of the people of innovations. In secrecy in the matters of religion, they hold, people of the Sunnah hold that to be from the way of the people of innovations. And Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, the famous Khalifa and reviver of Islam in the 1st century, Umar ibn Abdul Aziz said, إِذَا رَأَيْتَ قَوْمًا يَتَنَاجَوْنَ فِي أَمْرِ دِينِهِمْ دُونَ الْعَامَّ فَأْلَمْ أَنَّهُمْ عَلَى تَأْسِيسِ ضَلَالَةٍ. He said, if you see a people holding private discussions with regard to the affair of the religion, to the exclusion of the common folk, then know that they are upon a foundation of misguidance. Then he said, therefore, the Ahlul Sunnah, the people of the Sunnah, they keep away from concealment in the affairs of the religion, and they stay away from it, and they count it to be from the signs of the people of innovations. Then he said, وَإِذَا رَأَيْتَ الرَّجُلَ رَدِيعَ الطَّرِيقِ وَالْمَذْهَبِ فَاسِقًا فَاجِرًا صَاحِبَ مَعَاصٍ ظَالِمًا وَهُوَ مِنْ أَهْلِ السُّنَّةِ فَاصْحَبْهُ وَاجْلِسْ مَعَهُ فَإِنَّهُ لَا تَضُرُّكَ مَعْصِيَتُهُ. And if you see a man who is despicable, lowly in his manner and behavior, he is a sinner, wicked one, person of sins, an oppressor, but he is from the people of the Sunnah, he is from the Ahl of Sunnah, then keep company with him and sit with him, because his sin will not harm you. Again, Shaykh Ahmad said, I say, the author is not saying here what he said, except as a comparison between the innovator and the sinful person. So the mubtadi', the innovator, he holds that he is upon the truth and he will continue upon it, whereas the sinner, he counts himself as being a sinful person and a wrongdoer. So therefore it is to be awaited from him or expected from him that he will repent. And there is no doubt that the person of major sins is closer to the truth than a person of innovation. So therefore the author saw that sitting with the sinner will be lighter and less of a crime than sitting with the innovator. And that does not mean that he is commanding you to sit with the sinner.